fight where they between the presidential marketers for the major political parties, PDP and APC, don't level up. Another person don't join. It's alright. My name is ADS. I beg, remember to click on the red subscription button if you never subscribe to our channel. I make we run this gist as see the hot. After the junior minister, Federal Ministry of Labour, where him also now the presidential marketer for the APC, Festus Keyamo, been there on Channels TV to run down PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Him don also enter Arise TV to continue dragging Atiku Abubakar. After Dino Melaye, who be the marketer for the PDP, been threatened to break him into pieces when John go mature. Keyamo talk this time say Atiku never assume any executive office where him guys make major decision wey go dey binding on the Nigerian nation. Him also talk say unlike Yemi Oshibajo wey be our vice president now, say powers were never handed over to Atiku even if na for 1 minute during him time as vice president. Him say Atiku dey rebellious and proud and na why him no enjoy any executive handover from the president during him time. Make una hear for una self.
This argument before, let me just use this to chip in. Somebody, I saw one of the aides of Atiku, they say, well, the vice president is so powerful under section 153. Yeah. Okay. He's chairman of economic council, and as such, they don't even know how government functions. I'm a member of cabinet. If you look at section 153 of the Constitution, creates the National Executive Council, Economic Council, and then you now go to the third schedule, section 19 says that the recommendations of the National Executive Council, Economic Council are again they are brought to the president. They are just advisory. It's an advisory body, so they have no powers to take final decision. It's only Yemi Oshibajo, our good Yemi Oshibajo, that has acted as president. So I can confidently say he even has more experience than Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar was not given powers 1 minute. We'll 1 minute he was not given. So he cannot. I want to repeat it on this program. He was not given powers 1 minute. He was distracted by his boss. He was most belligerent. He was the most disloyal vice president we've ever had, and so he has no experience. I'm repeating it. He has no experience. No, I'm sorry. It's a matter of fact.
As this matter burst out, and Dino Melaye never talk anything, another person, when them no appoint as marketer, come hijack the matter. Former aide to former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Reno Omokri, don't answer Festus Keyamo. Watch as him defend him principal Atiku Abubakar.
Well, what will be your reaction to what you Festus Keyamo say? And let's just get the facts out.
Well, it seems that Keyamo is relying on his opinion rather than the law. And, right now his opinion has been purchased by Bola Tinubu. So, of course, he would say that. Now, let's look at what the law says. If you look at section 153 of our Constitution, the vice president is constitutionally the head of the National Economic Council. I think about 2 months ago, while I was in Canada, you interviewed me and you made that point, Rufai, when you were defending Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the current vice president. So he is an executive in that position because he heads the National Economic Council. If you look at our constitution, it's very similar to the United States Constitution because that's where we copied it from. Nigeria and the United States are one of the only few countries that have executive vice presidents, whereby there are constitutional rules clearly defined for them that even the president cannot fire them from. So when you have the National Economic Council, you presiding there, you're making economic decisions. If you recall, Infraco, which you brought up the last time, was a vehicle that was brought out by the National Economic Council under Oshibajo. But under the former vice president, or rather then vice president Atiku Abubakar, it went further. The National Economic Council was the vehicle whereby the debt relief that Nigeria got was discussed with the 36 state governors, because it's composed of the vice president as chairman and the 36 state governors as members, as well as the governor of the central bank. So between 1999 and 2007, when Vice President Atiku Abubakar held sway over the National Economic Council, all the major participants, Bola Tinubu, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, and Peter Obi, served under him. Look at that word, under him. So he was more like the boss of bosses. So how can you say that the people who served under him had more experience than him? It's not possible. Even beyond that, you also have the National Council on Privatization, which is not a constitutional body, but a statutory body. And then the vice president heads that body. And if you recall, when there were proofs being made by the National Assembly into the National Council on Privatization, it was Atiku Abubakar that they had to call the go-to, because he was the one who headed it. And he did a very, very good job. He was cleared by the National Assembly. So going further, we begin to see that when, like I mentioned this, in 2003, specifically July 10, 2003, when the president traveled, I believe he went to Namibia, and then the infamous incident with Ngige occurred when Ngige was abducted as a sitting governor, locked in the toilet. Ngige called the then vice president. And if you see his interview that he gave to your sister publication this day, August 16th, 2020, he said that when I called the vice president, he called the then Inspector General of Police, Tafa Balogun, and ordered him, look at that word, ordered him to reinstate me. That is an executive decision when you order the Inspector General of Police. So it's not, so I don't know where Festus Keyamo is coming off making these points. These are very, very unprofessional points, because he's a senior advocate of Nigeria and should know better.
This is how we want to make our politics be. Make your arguments and prove your points. It can't be like saying that the marketers be the candidates now. You get a civil. This is what we expect from the presidential candidates. Even if INEC never officially declare campaigns open, make una market una selves by una selves. Una self by una self. Una self by una self now. Then the marketers go help una when the campaign window is open. Just like Festus go talk when Jungle don't mature. Okay now. When them asked Festus Keyamo about him face off with Dino Melaye, we concern him comment on Channels TV about Atiku's experience. Him say, make Dino come to Ram, so him go fit promote him career. As in what? I don't understand. Make una watch.
Honorable Minister,
yes.
A Keyamo versus a Dino Melaye in the PDP. Okay. I would like you to see issue-based campaign without personality clashes.
You don't want me to comment on that now. You see, listen. This is not comedy. This is not comedy. This is not theatrics. Mm-hmm. Look, let me just say this comment. Let me make this. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
As a senior advocate and active practitioner, I represented some of the best musicians in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. And the best comedians in Nigeria. Wizkid, Burna Boy, P Square, Chidinma. I'm calling names. So the best. And I've been their lawyer. I nurtured them. I'm proud of who they have become. Mr. Macaroni, I saw him through school. He was to be expelled. He was my credit. These are wonderful boys who are doing well in their career. I promised Dino, when I leave office, I will nurture his career as a comedian and musician. Because he didn't come to me, that's why. That's the problem. If he comes to me, I will nurture him like I nurtured others. But I promise, that is when they declare Bola Tinubu winner, Asiwaju winner. I want to go back to my practice. I just want to land there, declare Asiwaju there. I won't go back. I miss the courts. I want to go back there. And once I go back, I promise Dino, I will nurture his music and comedy career. He will do well there. He will do well.
So now what do you mean by saying he come to you so that you go promote his career? My people will say, do not touch the tail of a tiger, be it alive or dead. You get it? By the time Dino will wake up to this hot sauce, where Keyamo don't serve him, blood go too overstain. Again, as Keyamo, just they talk about Atiku. People they tell me how they can't tire. They go ask am say, Oga, now only Atiku you they see as rival to Tinubu. Oh yeah, make una hear wetin Keyamo talk.
Yes.
When you said this election is about Bola Tinubu and Atiku, are you discarding the other political parties? Are you discarding the other candidates such as Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Kwankwanso of the NNPP, and the others?
They brought color into the campaign. So I must admit to them, and I praise what they are doing. They have raised some consciousness among the electorates and all that. But like I said in another program, outside the Southeast, Peter Obi is a carpetbagger. outside the Southeast. And we also suspect he may just be a Trojan horse for Atiku Abubakar. And so we want to warn his supporters that he may be leading them to nowhere.
Hey, so outside of Southeast, Peter Obi na carpet bagger. Abi? For those of you now, we don't know what be carpet bagger. Now the meaning be this. A political candidate who seeks election in an area where they have no local connection. That's a carpet bagger. Una see, this is not the problem. This is how they divide us across tribal lines. This election not be about where person they come from. Now by how who go make the country better? Let me even talk to the electorate, because as it be like this, now one man to one vote. This election should be about who will fix Nigeria and how the person won't take do am. Since there is a zoning formula, let the best candidate from the zoned region emerge. Now which we want. Vote for the best. That's all. All these carpet bagger, this one, that one, you know, concern us. Now who go protect the interest of Nigerians? The interest of the north, the south, and the west. Now the person we will define. Not be by your carpet bagger or whatever. Who cares? Now watch as Reno Omokri finally reply Festus Keyamo. Him talk say Keyamo the market bad product. We no go easy for him at all. Now watch.
That talk by Festus Keyamo is again talk by somebody whose voice has been purchased by Bolatini. But I know he's selling the bad product. And because he's selling the bad product, he can't talk about that product. So he will want to just do some reverse psychology by attacking by attacking the People's Democratic Party administration. One of the things that Festus Keyamo talked about, he praised Bolatini for raising Lagos's IGR. And listen, look, I've said before, Bola Tinubu was one of the best governors in Nigeria. I give him credit for that because he was able to do a lot of things. However, what he didn't tell Nigerians is that Bola Tinubu met a debt in Lagos of less than $100 million. And right now, Lagos is so indebted. Lagos owes billions of dollars. As a matter of fact, Lagos alone owes 12.6% of Nigeria's total debt. So if you look at the IDR and then you compare it to the debt, that is a net loss. So these are the things that Festus Keyamo, because he knows he's selling a bad product, he cannot come and defend that product, so he has to start throwing spaghetti on the wall. His voice has been purchased.
That ending part where him talk say they don't buy Keyamo. I beg, make I clear you, Reno. Now money all of una defined, or are you talking plenty for free? Now money you too defined now. This market has fight no go stop till after the elections. When I hear me so, we dey here for the entertainment. In case you don't make up your mind, say you don't go vote for this election. Just know say today in Nigeria, domestic flight ticket is now about 150k. That's 150,000 naira. Meanwhile, going by road is around 30 million to 100 million naira, depending on how the kidnapper won't take pity you. So go clean up your PVC and let's change our country for good. I will see you again. Follow us on all our social media channels showing on your screen right now. Until I see you again, my name is ADS. Signing out.